Hello, students. A very good evening to you all. Welcome to my YouTube channel, Study Time. So, today we are going to start with the new chapter, Life Process. So, this is the first chapter for your biology portion. Now, as you all know, life process. What does this term means? Life. So, there are some processes which are involved, which are always happening inside a living organism for sustaining the life. Now, how do we tell the difference between what's alive and what's not? So, if you see a dog running, or a cow chewing cud, or a man shouting loudly on the street, we know that these are all living things, right? So, and what if they are just asleep? So, whatever state a living organism is, whether actively doing some performing some work, or just taking rest, so for any living organism, for sustaining of life, some functions are continuously going on inside the body of that living organism, right? For sustaining the life, for keeping an organism alive, there are certain functions which are always happening inside the body. So today in this chapter we are going to talk about these life processes. Now we all know that for living, we need to have energy. Now how do we get that energy? We get that energy by having food. So we eat food. Now what happens to the food which when it goes inside? Now these are what we are going to study in this chapter, that what are these processes. So the first topic which we will talk about is nutrition, right? Now what is nutrition? So when I talk about energy, when we walk or ride a bicycle, we are using up an energy. Even when we are not doing any apparent activity, energy is needed to maintain a state of order in our body. We also need materials from outside in order to grow, develop, synthesize proteins and other substances needed in the body. Now this source of energy and material is the food we eat, right? So basically it all comes down to the food. Now what happens to the food, and how do we get that energy from the food? So what happens to the food? So we have in our body, we have certain systems in our, like we have the digestive system. Now you all are well aware of it. You all have studied about these systems in the previous classes. So the digestive system is there. Then we have other systems like respiratory system, circulatory system, excretory system, nervous system, and like all these are systems which are performing their functions. And this is how the different processes keeps on happening. So in nutrition we'll be studying about the digestive system and what happens to the food, and how energy is released, and in what form energy is released. Now, how do living things get their food? So, the general requirement for energy and material is common in all organisms, but it is fulfilled in different ways. Some organisms use simple food material obtained from inorganic sources in the form of carbon dioxide and water. Now, this is about the plants, autotrophs. We all know that all the plants are autotrophic in nature. So basically nutrition, when we talk about nutrition, it is of two types, autotrophic and heterotrophic. So all those living organisms which are present on earth, which are able to synthesize their own food by using the inorganic raw material like carbon dioxide from air, water from earth, and sunlight from air, and so they use these inorganic raw materials, and they are able to synthesize a form of energy called glucose in their body. So all the green plants, all these plants which has chlorophyll in them, are capable of synthesizing a form of usable energy in the form of glucose from these inorganic raw materials. So all these type of organisms are known as autotrophs. So these autotrophs include green plants and some bacteria, and other organisms utilize complex substances. So these complex substances have to be broken down into simpler ones before they are used for upkeep and growth of the body. To achieve these organisms use biocatalyst called enzymes. So this is for heterotrophic mode of nutrition. It involves, or it engages the use of biocatalyst called enzymes, with the help of which they can break down the complex substances into simpler ones, which can be used to release the energy. So heterotrophs survival depends directly or indirectly on autotrophs. Heterotrophic organisms includes animals and fungi. So basically what we should understand is that nutrition is of two types, that is autotrophic mode of nutrition and heterotrophic mode of nutrition. Autotrophic, that is the plants can synthesize their own food, so this is known as autotrophic nutrition. And rest all other organisms which do not have this capacity to form energy or synthesize energy directly from the inorganic material, they all fall under the category of heterotrophs. So they all depend upon directly or indirectly on plants for obtaining their nutrition. So this was a brief introduction about the nutrition. Now we will be studying in detail about the autotrophic mode of nutrition and the photosynthesis reaction. Okay. So I hope you all are able to understand. So that's it for today. So now we'll again catch up in our next session. Bye. Have a good time.